welcome everybody to the Bronx, New York, where baseball's World Cup, where the best come to survive. Where tonight it is group stage, is going to be Group One. It is going to be the New York Yankees, the number one seed in Group A. The 98 Yankees will be the home team throughout this group stage. They'll take on the 2008 Philadelphia Phillies, who are 0-1 in tournament play. Then after this, we will switch fields, so to speak. We'll clean off the diamond, put some fresh lining on the base paths, as it will be the New York Mets taking on the Oakland Athletics. The Mets come in with a record of 1-0, while the A's come in with a surprising record of 0-1. So this will be a doubleheader here in group stage at Yankee Stadium. They are the host site for Group A. Let's go ahead and head to the diamond and get to our rotations, get to our teams. It's the Yankees are home. They've taken the field. It's going to be Ricky Leday in left, Bernie Williams in center, Paul O'Neill in right, Scott Brocious at third, Derek Jeter at short, Chuck Knobloch at second, Tino Martinez at first. Behind the plate is Jorge Posada, and on the mound is Andrew Eugene Pettit. The designated hitter is going to be Chili Davis. These are actually lineups from game one of the 98 World Series when they went against Mark Langston. This is the Philadelphia Philly lineup. This is when they went against Scott Kazmir in the 2008 World Series. So I kind of went with the same kind of lineup, and it was going to be J. Roll leading off at short, uh, Jason Worth in right, Chase Utley at second, Ryan Howard at first, Shane Victorino in center. Pat Burrell continues to get the start in left. Pedro Feliz at third. Chris Cost is your DH, and it's going to be Carlos Ruiz is your catcher. Yankees did not play in week one. The Phillies lost to the New York Mets 2-0 on a walk-off home run. So please watch those games. They are on the channel. They're for you to watch and hopefully keep track of in the tournament. So this is the Yankees' first game. Everyone will play 4 games in the group. Top 2 teams from the group will make the knockout round. And then with 30 major league teams, 4 third place teams will also make it. So here we go. So J. Roll lead off. He was 0 for 3 with a walk in the opening game. Pettit on the mound gets the sign, and here's the pitch to lead off group play. And that's ground ball to short. Jeter's got it, picks it up, and throws him out, and there's one away. Here's Jason Worth. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts in game one. But this is where he definitely gets better against righties. Posada puts down the plate, Pettit with the windup, and the pitch to Worth. That's going to be a fly ball to center field. Bernie Williams will range under it, make the catch, and there's 2 outs. So now here is Chase Utley. Utley in group play is 1 for 4 with a double. Pettit looks in, gets a sign from Posada. Here's the windup and the pitch. That'll be a base hit for Utley. He's on board. And here is Ryan Howard, 1 for 4 in group play so far. Pettit from the stretch, runner on first and 2 outs, and the pitch to Howard. 3-12 and hit him by a pitch. And the Phillies now got 2 on and 2 outs. And it's going to be up to the flying Hawaiian Shane Victorino. So Victorino switch hitting, batting from the right hand side. Posada puts down the sign. Pettit from the stretch. Here's the pitch. That will be a ground ball to first. Constantino Martinez picks it up, takes it to the bag, and we played 1/2 inning. Phillies nothing, and the New York Yankees nothing. So it will be Jamie Moyer decided to go to the lefty. It was telling me to go with Jeff Blanton, the righties. I decided to go with Moyer, the lefty, against this Yankee team. Yankee lineup as played 98 World Series against the Padres is going to be Knobloch, Jeter, O'Neill, followed by Bernie Williams, Chili Davis, and didn't get much at bats during the regular season, but was on the postseason roster, bats fifth. Tino Martinez bats sixth, Scott Brocious bats seventh, Jorge Posada bats eighth, and taking advantage of the better defense will be Ricky Leday bats ninth and left, even though he's a lefty. So Chuck Knobloch will lead off against the veteran Jamie Moyer. And we're off. Bottom of the first here at Yankee Stadium. Moyer looks in, takes the sign. Here's the pitch to Knobloch. And that's going to be a line drive right at Rollins for one quick out. Here's the captain, Derek Jeter, right-handed batter. Moyer looks in, and the windup to Jeter. And that's going to be a ground ball to third, picked up by Phillies. Throws him out two away. And here is the Warrior, Paul O'Neill. O'Neill steps up, left-handed batter against Moyer. Moyer looks in, gets the windup, and pitches to O'Neill. And that's a strikeout. So Moyer gets another strikeout. We played one inning of play here in the Bronx. It's Group Play at World Cup 2025. Phillies nothing, New York Yankees nothing. Top two. So top two, we're off and running. Here is Pat Burrell. Again, much better hitter against lefties. He's in there for his bat, definitely not the glove. Pettit looks in, gets a sign from Pettit. Here's a pitch to Burrell, and Burrell ground ball is short. Jeter's got it, throws him out, and there's one away. Here's Pedro Feliz. Feliz 1 for 3 in the opener. Posada puts down the sign. Pettit with the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Pettit. He's got it. Go, throws it over to Martinez. 2 outs. Here is the backup catcher and the designated hitter, Chris Cost. Did not play in game one. Posada puts down the sign. Pettit with the windup and pitch to Cost. And that's going to be a struck him out. Ends the inning. We played an inning and a half. Phillies nothing. And your New York Yankees nothing. Group play. This is the first game for the Yankees in group play. The Phillies played the Mets in their first game. It's going to be Williams, Davis, Martinez, the bat against Moyer. Moyer looks in, gets the sign. Here's the windup to Bernie. Bernie walks him. So Bernie is on. Now it's up to Chili Davis. 103 at bat for the Yankees, 7 doubles, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. So when he was in there, he did swing the bat. Moyer looks in, runner on first and nobody out. Pitch to Chili. And that's going to be a double in the gap. Williams will go first to third. So a double for Chili Davis. Second and third, nobody out for Tino Martinez. So now Moyer trying to get himself out of a jam. Second and third, nobody out. Here's the pitch from Moyer to Martinez. That is going to be ground ball to second. Run will score. If the infield was in, that's 2 runs. Utley picks it up, throws them out, and it's 1-0 Yanks. So RBI for Constantino Martinez. And now here's Scott Brocious, who absolutely destroys and devours lefty in this season. Ruiz puts down the sign. Moyer from the stretch and the pitch. And that is going to be a line drive in the gap. That's going to the wall. Davis scores. Double for Brocious. Yankees lead it 2-0. And now here is the catcher, Jorge Posada. Ruiz goes out and talks to Moyer. Philly bullpen could be up in a hurry. Phillies can't really afford losing 2 games in group stage. Ruiz puts down the sign. Moyer from the stretch pitches to Posada. And that is a liner caught by Rollins for out number 2. Here's Ricky Leday. Leday, youngster in the Yankee organization, 241, 1 home run, 12 RBIs, lefty-lefty matchup. Moyer from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Leday. And that's a strikeout. We go to the third. 2-0 Yanks. We go to the top of the third. Bronx, New York. This is a group play. World Cup 2025. So now it will be Carlos Ruiz, followed by Jimmy Rollins and Jason Worth. Pettit looks in, gets the sign. Here's a pitch to Ruiz. And Ruiz, drive left center field. Could be trouble. Back goes Williams up against the wall. Carlos Ruiz goes to second with a stand-up double, and the Phillies got something going. Here is Jimmy Rollins, 0 for 1. Pettit from the stretch. Runner on second, nobody out. Pitch to Rollins. And that's a ground ball to first. I'll get Ruiz over to third, and there's one away. Here is Jason Worth. Tough man here. Pettit knows the odds are stacked against him here. Pettit does pitch better against righties. So Pettit from the stretch. Ruiz takes a modest lead off third. Here's the pitch to Worth. And fly ball right field should score the run. That is going to be O'Neill. Gets in front of it, makes the catch. He'll throw it home, not in time. And the Phillies are on the board. It's 2-1. Phillies' first run of this of this group stage. Here is Chase Utley, 1 for 1, 2 for 5 in the tournament. Pettit from the lineup now. Here's the pitch to Utley. And Utley has himself a strikeout. Big strikeout for Pettit. We go to the bottom of the third. It's Yankees 2, Phillies 1. Should be exciting, folks. If you are here watching, please please subscribe. Appreciate all anyone out here watching the games. It will be Knobloch followed by Jeter and Mr. O'Neill. Moyer looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Knobloch. And that's going to be a fly ball to center. Victorino makes the catch, and there's 1 out. Here is Jeter. He's 0 for 1 with the ground out. Moyer looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch to DJ. 4-9, drive to left center field, right center field. That's trouble. That's oppo power for Jeter, and it's gone into the right center field bleachers, and the Yankees take a 3-1 lead. So Jeter goes the opposite field. It's 3-1 Yanks with 1 out here in the third. Here's O'Neill, 0 for 1. Ruiz puts down the sign. Moyer with the windup and pitch to O'Neill. That's a liner. That's a base hit for O'Neill. So he's on board. Here's Bernie. So the Yankee offense picking up well here. They are the #1 seed in this group. Moyer from the stretch. O'Neill takes the lead off first. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a walk again. 2 on for Chili Davis with 1 away. Davis steps up. Moyer from the stretch. First and second, 1 out. Pitch to Chili Davis. And Chili Davis takes it to the wall. Another double for Davis. 1 run will score. Williams will hold at third. And Charles Chili Davis, another RBI double. It's 4-1 Yanks in the third. So now here is Tino Martinez. Moyer is struggling. Moyer from the stretch. 4-1 Yanks. The pitch to Tino Martinez. And he rips a base hit, just gets by. That will score Bernie. 5-1 Yanks. Davis will stop at third. And the New York Yankees offense is lighting up the Phillies here. It's 5-1 with 1 out in the third. The corners will play in for Brocious. 1 for 1 with a double so far. Moyer from the stretch and the pitch. This will be a ground ball to third, picks up by Feliz, gets 1, gets 2, gets a double play. So a nice, no double play, just got the out at first. So second and third, 2 outs for Jorge Posada. So Posada steps in. Posada wind out his first time up. 5-1 Yanks, 2 outs in the third. Moyer from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Posada. And that's a ground ball, and he's going to be hurt. So Posada is out. He'll only be out for the rest of the game. So again, if you watched the very first game, Strawberry was out for an indefinite length of time. I decided to do the game injuries only. So Strawberry will return in the Mets lineup. I'll have to switch that in the statistics before we play the next round game, but that is going to be that. So new catcher will be who should be the New York Yankee manager in this future is Joe Girardi. I think he should come back and take over for Boone. So the catcher is Girardi. They definitely don't miss a beat here. Posada has more offense, but Girardi will control this pitching staff. So in the fourth, with nobody out, here is Ryan Howard. Girardi puts down the sign. Pettit with the windup and the pitch. This will be a strikeout for Ryan Howard. 1 out in the fourth. So now here is Shane Victorino. Girardi puts down the sign. Pettit with the windup. Pitch to Shane. And that's going to be a strikeout. So the cutter working for Pettit. That's 4 strikeouts through 3 and 2/3. Here is Pat Burrell, 0 for 1. Pettit with the windup and pitch to Burrell. And that's going to be line drive deep to left field. That ball is gone, and it's out of here. Pat Burrell, pat the bat. It's 5-2 Yankees as Burrell gets the Phillies a little closer. Third hit for the Phillies, and the Phillies now trail by 3. So now here's Pedro Feliz, 0 for 1. Pettit looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Pedro Feliz. That's a ground ball back to Pettit. Gets it, eases it over, throws it over to Tino Martinez. Side is retired. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Yankees 5, Phillies 2. The Yankees 5 runs on 6 hits. The Phillies 2 runs on 3 hits. Again, this is the World Cup of Baseball 2025. We're in group stage for Group A. Let's go ahead and continue. We're in the bottom four. We'll play again. Mets and A's after this. Mets are considered to be the second best team in the group, the 86 Mets. So they will be home, have home field advantage, get the final at bats in that one. The A's lost a tough one to the Orioles in week one, so they'll be fighting possibly for their tournament lives. They want to be one of the four remaining third place wild card teams, but you don't want to be losing the first two of the series. That would mean they still got games with the Phillies and Yankees left. So Moyer looks in the Lede lefty matchup, and that is going to be a ground ball to second. That's Utley, gets it, throws him out one away. So one out in the fourth. Here's Knobloch. He's 0 for 2. Moyer looks in, gets the sign, doesn't get it past 90 miles an hour. Here's the pitch from Moyer. And that's going to be a line drive base hit for Knobloch, his first hit. And here's Jeter, 1 for 2, Apotaka home run back in the third. Moyer from the stretch, runner on first, one out, pitch to Jeter. That's gonna be a catch axe for Ruiz. No, it looks like it's gonna be a wild pitch, and it goes to the backstop. So Knobloch will take second. So Jeter now batting right-handed. This was a year where he really liked lefties more than anything else. Moyer from the stretch, runner on second, one out, pitch to Jeter. And that's a ground ball back to Moyer. Does he field it? He barely fields it, throws him out. He almost did. He fumbled it. And he'll try to go. And he goes to third, and he gets the easy out at first. So Knobloch's on the third where he could score now on a wild pitch. Here is Paul O'Neill, 1 for 2, a single back in the third. Moyer from the stretch. Here's the pitch to O'Neill. And that's going to be a strike him out. Oh, that changeup by Jamie Moyer. We go to the fifth. It's 5-2 Yanks. So anyone's game here. Fifth inning here. And again, this is World Cup 2025. Up to come will be the Mets and 89 A's and the 86 Mets. So it should be a good one. Both teams playing their second games. Chris Koss followed by Ruiz and Rollins in the visiting fifth. Pettit looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch from Pettit to Koss. And that's a fly ball to center. Williams is there, makes the catch, and there's one away. And here's Carlos Ruiz. 1 for 1 with a double. Girardi puts down the sign. Pettit with the windup pitch to Ruiz. And that's going to be a walk. So now Pettit will now deal with the top of the order. It's J-Roll. He's 0 for 2. Pettit from the stretch. Ruiz takes a slight lead off first. Pitch to Rollins. That's a strikeout for Pettit. Strikeout number 5. So 2 outs, and here's Jason Worth. Tough man to hit the pitch against. 0 for 1 with an RBI. Pettit from the stretch. Worth waits. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to center. Williams is there, makes the catch. And we played 4.5. It's official here in the Bronx. It's the Yankees 5 and the Phillies 2. So it's Williams followed by Davis and Martinez against Jamie Moyer. Moyer looks in with the windup and pitch to Bernie Williams. And that's a ground ball to short. Rollins gets an easy throw to first, and there's one away. Here's Charles Chili Davis, 2 for 2, including an RBI and a couple doubles. Ruiz puts down the sign. Moyer with the windup and pitch. And that's going to ground ball back to Moyer. He gets it, easy throw to first, 2 away. And it's back to Tino Martinez. He's 1 for 2, a ground out with the RBI and a single with the RBI. Moyer looks in, gets the sign. Here's the windup to Martinez. And he ground ball back to Ryan Howard, takes it to the bag himself, and we played 5 here in the Bronx. Yankees 5 and the Phillies 2. This is World Cup 2025. As we're beginning in group stage, this is the Yankees' first game of the group and the Phillies' second. So now we go to the 6th, and it will be Utley, followed by Howard and Victorino against Pettit in the 6th. 2-3-0 for the Phillies, 5-7-0 for the Yanks. Pettit looks in, gets a sign, lefty matchup, and that's gonna be a line drive base hit for Utley. So he's on again, and now here's Ryan Howard. So Pettit now has to be careful a little bit. Pettit considered to have the best pickoff move, so Utley's gonna have to be careful in any lead he gets. Pettit from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Andrew Eugene Pettit. So one out in the sixth, and here's Victorino. Pettit from the stretch. Utley takes a lead off first. Here's the pitch to Victorino. And that'll be a fly ball to left. That's why he's out in left. Leday makes the play, and Utley has to hold at first. Good play by Leday, charging in and throwing back in. So 2 outs in the sixth, and here is Pat Burrell. Home run back in the fourth inning. Girardi puts down the sign. Pettit from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Burrell. Burrell, ground ball to short. Jeter goes the short way to second, and we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. It's 5-2 Yanks. This is World Cup 2025. So we're continue onward. Here is Brocious, followed by Girardi's first at bat and Leday. Moyer into the sixth inning. Moyer with a windup and pitch to Brocious. And that's a fly ball to left, and that's a nice there play by Burrow, one away. So now here's Girardi, first at bat. Hit 276 on the regular season, 3 home runs, 31 ribbies. Moyer with the windup, pitch to Girardi, and that's a ground ball to short. Rollins picks it up over the first, and there's 2 outs. So now here's Ricky Leday, 0 for 2. Moyer from the stretch, 2 outs in the sixth, lefty-lefty matchup, and that's going to be a line drive base hit. So a base hit for Leday. So now here is Knobloch. So Leday on at first and 2 outs. Knobloch batting for the fourth time. So Moyer has pitched through the lineup 3 times already. So the Philly bullpen is probably up and going. Ruiz puts down the sign. Moyer from the stretch. Here's a pitch to Knobloch. And that's a line drive to Phillies. Makes the play. And we go to the seventh. Yankees 5 and the Phillies 2. So top of the seventh, group play. And again, it is an exciting part of this one. Again, after this is going to be the Mets taking on the Athletics, the 89 A's and the 86 Mets. That is game 2 here in the Bronx, part of group play day number 2. So let's go on here. It's going to be Pedro Feliz, who's 0 for 2, followed by Chris Cost and Carlos Ruiz. Pettit looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Feliz. And Feliz, ground ball to short. That's Jeter. Got it. Throws him out, one away. So Jeter made that one easy. 1 out in the seventh. Now here is Cost. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. Girardi puts down the sign. Pettit with the windup and pitch to Chris Cost. And Cost, fly ball to right. O'Neill gets it, 2 away. And now the bottom of the order for Carlos Ruiz. He's doubled in walks so far. Pettit looks in, trying to go 7. Here's a pitch from Pettit to Ruiz, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. That's Knobloch. Tough play. Gets a good play by Knobloch, and the side is retired. 7th inning stretch here in the Bronx. Yankees 5, Phillies 2. Yankees 5 runs on 8 hits and no errors. The Phillies 2 runs on 4 hits. It's Jeter, O'Neill, and Williams versus Moyer. This is probably going to be Moyer's. Oh, Moyer's inning of fatigue was the 6th. So Moyer looks in, gets the sign, pitch to Jeter. Single to center for Jeter. So he's on, leading off the 7th. And here's O'Neill. O'Neill 1 for 3, a run scored. Moyer from the stretch. Jeter to get a lead. Let's see, does he want to run? Jeter may try it. And he doesn't get the lead, so Jeter will hold. Moyer from the stretch, pitch to O'Neill. And that's going to be a catch axe in front of the plate. Oh, another wild pitch by Moyer. Goes back to the screen. So Jeter on at second with nobody out. O'Neill, the batter. Bernie Williams, and then followed by Davis. You know, you're going to have the righty in, the pitch to Chile there. Moyer from the stretch, pitches to O'Neill. Ground ball to third. Feliz picked it up. Got it. Throws him out. Gets him. So Jeter holds, and here is O'Neill. Here's Bernie. Bernie in the ball game 0 for 1, a couple walks. Moyer from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Bernie. Fly ball to center. Victorino there. 2 outs, and here is Charles Chili Davis. I would not give him a pitch to swing. Let's see what happens here. Moyer from the stretch. Do you pitch to Chili Davis, who's killed you so far? No, they do give him the intentional walk. So Davis gets the intentional walk, first and second, 2 outs for Constantino Martinez. Has 2 RBIs, including a single back in the third. Moyer from the stretch gets the sign and the pitch to Tino. And that's a line drive base hit for Tino Martinez. 1 run scores. Davis will move to third. Yankees lead it 6-2. Big RBI base hit for Tino Martinez. So now here's Brocious. Moyer from the stretch. Is that going to be all for Moyer? Nope, they'll pitch to him. Probably shouldn't have. Fly ball right field. Worth makes the catch. Sides retire. We go to the eighth. Yankees 6, Phillies 2. So a 4-run lead for Andrew Eugene Pettit. So this could be an interesting part of this game. Let's see how long Mr. Torrey goes with Pettit here. So now we go to Rollins. He'll be up for the fourth time. Pettit, with looking in, gets the sign here. It's a pitch to Rollins, and that's going to be a base hit for Rollins. His first hit of the ball game. Phillies fifth, and all of a sudden the Phillies trying to get closer. And here's Worth. Pettit now stands on the mound from the stretch. Yankee bullpen been quiet, but now it's starting to pick up some. As let's see who they would go with. Oh God, and this team won the championship, and they got Rivera ready to roll. Darren Holmes is kind of your reverse guy. Ramiro Mendoza is your long man in case you get smoked. You got starters and Wells, Cone, and probably a Rabu will probably pitch game 4, whoever that is. And then he got Stanton, who wasn't much better, and Brewski. Oh, goodness gracious. So that team is going to have a little look-see and see we need to make a change. That's horrible. I don't like what they have. So Pettit from the stretch. Pettit will hold on besides Rivera and the pitch. And that's going to be a base hit left field. And all of a sudden you put the tying runner on the on deck circle. And here's Chase Utley. You don't want to get 6 outs here. And Torrey does have Stanton ready. Does he bring him out in this situation? Oh, he gets crushed. Let's see. Lefty, huh? Darren Holmes is a reverse guy, pitched in some solid spots. So Holmes will come out. So let's see what Darren Holmes will do. So Utley to bat against a righty. First and second, nobody out. Holmes making a big pitch in this ball game. Here's the pitch to Utley, and that's going to be a strikeout. Big strikeout for Darren Holmes. 1 away in the eighth. So now you pitch to the brute. Ryan Howard, 0 for 2, couple strikeouts and hit by pitch. Holmes from the stretch. First and second, 1 out pitch to Howard. Howard walks, and now the Phillies have the bases loaded, 1 out for the flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino. So Victorino comes in. Holmes working from the stretch. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the pitch to Shane. That's a line drive. Caught. What a play by Knobloch. Probably saved 2 runs. So Knobloch with a great play. There's 2 outs here in the eighth, and it's Pat Burrell. There's a righty on the mound, so Burrell probably swings away. Holmes from the stretch looks in. Here's the pitch. No. Oh, what was that? Oh, it's a pass. It's a wild pitch for Holmes, and a run scores, and it's 6-3. All of a sudden, it is a save situation. So Mariano Rivera, enter the Sandman, is up in the Yankee bullpen. Holmes from the stretch to Burrell, and the pitch. That's going to be a base hit right field. 1 run scores. 6-4 Yankees. So the Phillies mounting an 8th inning comeback. So now here's Pedro Feliz. Righty matchup. Holmes trying to survive the 8th. 6-4 Yanks. Holmes from the stretch. And they'll bring in Greg Dobbs, a specialist against right-handed pitching. Now, if you play the 3-batter minimum rule, they don't have to. That would be Stanton probably. And the Yankees will do that move. So Mike Stanton will come in for the Yanks. trying to get a huge out. Oof, 5-5 against the lefty. This game would be tied, but I don't know if I know Dobbs is powered up against lefties. My guessing no. Let's see. Do they have the guts to make a move here? So Dobbs pinch hitter. So he is batting. Is he batting for Ruiz? Yes, he is. So the backup third baseman would probably be Eric Bruntlett. So he will come out. I'll make the move myself. He'll bat for Dobbs. So it's going to be Bruntlett against Stanton. Stanton better against right-handed pitching, a lot better, but Bruntlett is a better hitter than Dobbs is against lefties. Got to get the batter matchup here. Stanton from the stretch, 6-4 Yankees, 2 on in the eighth, and Aguchi comes in and runs. So the Phillies with a little faster base runner out there. Stanton's -5 will negate that. So from the stretches, Stanton looks into Eric Bruntlett and the pitch. 3-8 ground ball back to Stanton, throws them out, and we head to the bottom of the eighth inning. Yankees now holding onto a 6-4 lead. 6 runs on 10 hits for the Yanks, 4 runs on 7 hits for the Fighting Phils. What a game we have here so far, MLB 2025 World Cup. So now we go to Girardi, Leday, Knobloch. Probably a pinch hitter for Leday if they can find someone. I'll see who's available. I don't really want to use somebody. Ruiz puts down the sign. Moyer looks in. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a base hit for Girardi. Good job there. Now that will probably, let's see, if they Phillies may go to bullpen. Do they have another lefty out here? Do they have somebody who can swing against a lefty? He's a 4, which would hurt. So let's see. O'Neill can play right. He can play center. Yuck, 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 yuck. All right. No other left fielders on the roster. And one guy who's probably the best hitter of them all, but probably some of those personal ideas. Let's go with the guy I don't really want on this roster. We'll go to Chad Davis. So I want him so much out of my mind. I can't even think of his name right now. So let's just make sure and give me a boy. Oh, you know what? You know what's going on here, and I don't know why he's not on my active roster. Jeff Nelson is not on the active roster. That's really kind of weird because he pitched in a 98 World Series. I guess I gotta look at that a little closer. Another lefty there. So let's see. Was there a righty in game 3? Let's just see if he played or not. Oh yeah, this was Shane Spencer's team, but again, something I'd rather not do. Let's see, because he'd be end up homering all over the place. I don't want to win a game. Oh, and that Graham Lloyd too. Jesus, they don't even have half the guys. Really gonna have to do a search on this just to be sure. But that is just really weird. And okay, now I remembered it. So let's go to Chad Davis. Sorry, I had to think of the name for a minute. So again, a guy I prefer not having on the roster, and he is going to bat anyway. So Curtis will bat, right-handed batter. Moyer looks and definitely much better hitter against left-handed pitching. And here's the pitch, and he'll pitch to him. So he stays in the game, fly ball to right. Worth with the catch, and there's one away. Here's Knobloch. He's up for the 5th time. He's 1 for 4. Moyer from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Knobloch. And that's a ground ball back to the mound. Does he get 2? He will. Oh, no, he fumbled it midair. That's an error on Moyer. So an E1 allows Knobloch to get on base, and that could be a huge play here in the 8th. First and second, one out for Jeter. And now do the Phillies make a room for a righty? Moyer from the stretch. Here is the pitch, and they'll pitch to Jeter here. Fly ball to center is Victorino. Girardi will hold, and there's 2 outs for Paul O'Neill, 1 for 4. So Moyer staying in this from the stretch. First and second, 2 outs, and the pitch. That's going to be a line drive base hit. Scores the big run of the ball game. Yankees lead at 7-4. Knobloch heads to third. And I believe Manuel just left his pitcher in one game, one batter too long. Here's Bernie. Let's see who they go with. And they'll go with Clay Condrey coming in. Probably should have been earlier. Yankees now a 3-run lead, still a save situation. Condrey to Bernie Williams and the pitch. And that's going to be a walk. The bases are now loaded. And let's see if the Yankees will go to their bench. And it'll be Darryl Strawberry. So Strawberry will be the new pinch hitter. He'll try to put this game out of reach. Left-handed bat against Condrey. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 7-4 Yanks. Pitch to Strawberry. Walks him, and it's now 8-4. So now here is Constantino Martinez, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs so far. Condrey from the stretch and the pitch. And this will be a liner base hit it through the middle for a base hit. 1 run scores. Williams will be held at third. O'Neill scores, and it's 9-4 Yankees. So they're really now kind of blowing this open here. Here's Brocious. He'll come in. Condrey from the stretch. Bases loaded. 2 outs in this ball game. And the pitch. That will be a ground ball to short. Goes to second. That is going to go to the top of the ninth. It's 9-4 Yankees World Cup Day 1 action. And this is after this again, please stick around. It's going to be the A's and the New York Mets, the 89 A's, the 86 Mets. That'll be game 2 of our doubleheader of Group A stage for day 2. So now let's see what they will decide to do. Curtis will probably stay in left field. And now with a bigger lead, what do you do? Let's put Bruschi out there. Give him an inning. He'll probably be gone after this roster, I have a feeling. So Jim Bruschi will now pitch. Again, he'll pitch to Cost, Ruiz, and Rollins. Yankees add 3 in the 8th, lead 9-4, 9-13-0 for the Yankees, 4-7-1 for the Phillies. Bruschi wind up to Koski, and that's a 5-4 ground ball to third. That is good play there by Brocious. Gets it, throws him out, 1 away. Here's Carlos Ruiz, 1 for 2 of the double. Girardi puts down the sign. Bruschi with the pitch to Ruiz, and that's a ground ball to third. Brocious got it, throws him out, and there's 2 outs. 1 more out, and the Yankees will have their first win of this World Cup. Here's Rollins, 1 for 4, the run scored. Bruschi from the windup. Is this going to be it? The pitch. And that's going to be a line drive base hit for Rollins. So Worth keeps it alive. He'll now bat against Bruschi. Righty-righty matchup. Runner on first, 2 outs. Phillies trying to mount a late inning rally. Bruschi from the stretch to him. And this will be a liner in the gap. That'll be, no one can get it. That will score Rollins all the way from first. Worth to second. He's going to try for third. No throw and a triple for Worth. It is now a 9-5 ball game. Rivera is up and throwing. If the Phillies score again, it will be a save situation. So Bruschi from the stretch, runner on third, 2 out. Rollins, Utley to bat, and Utley hits a line to deep right field. O'Neill can't get it. It's off the wall. Runner will score. Utley to second. It's a 9-6 ball game, and Utley's on at second with an RBI double. And here comes Ryan Howard, and the Yankees will go to Rivera here. It is now a save situation. So Rivera in 3-0, 1.91 ERA, 36 saves. So now Rivera to Howard, 9-6. Phillies will have 2 runs here in the 9th. Rivera from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Ryan Howard. Fly ball to left field. Curtis with the catch, and that is your ball game. So the Yankees pull off a huge win here. In group play day 2, Pettit with the win goes 7. You forget what kind of game he had. 6 hits, 4 runs were earned. 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. Holmes went 2/3 of the inning, did his job. 1 hit, 1 walk, a strikeout. Stanton a third. And then Bruschi came in 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. Rivera gets the kind of the cheap save there. Doubles by Utley, Ruiz, 2 by Davis, 1 by Brocious, triples by Worth, home runs by Burrell and Jeter. For this game, the Yankees took a 2-0 lead in the second, led 2-1, bottom 3, scored 3. It was 5-1 heading to the fourth. Phillies get one back. It was 5-2. Then the Yankees scored 1 in the seventh, make it 6-2. Phillies scored 2 in the eighth, make it 6-4. Yankees with 3 insurance runs in the eighth, led 9-4. And then the Phillies scored 2 in the ninth to make it 9-6. The Yankees 9 runs, 13 hits, no errors. The Phillies 6 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. Winning pitcher is Pettit. Losing pitcher is Moyer. He went 7 2/3, 12 hits, 9 runs, 6 were earned, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Not a quick hook by the computer for the Phillies there. That concerns me. But the Yankees win this 9-6. The Phillies' second loss of this tournament, and that could be detrimental. They're going to have to sweep if they want a chance. So we'll take a quick break here. We'll switch fields. It will be the New York Mets taking on the Oakland Athletics, and that will be game number 2. Just give me a second to get off this one. I'm going to go and look at this Yankee roster just real quick while we have you here and see if there's something that we needed to do. So you got a lot of pitchers not even suited up here. And Spencer Lloyd, Lloyd, Nelson not on the active roster. Are you crazy? So yeah, need to get Lloyd and Nelson probably on that roster. I guess that will mean he'll send Bruschi down. He'll go there, and if you're not going to use Orlando Hernandez, who could be the number 4 starter on this team, let's see. So it's going to be Pettit, Cone, Wells, and then a 4 and a 5. I see Hernandez. I'm going to what? Sorry, Hideki. Arabu will not be on the roster. Orlando Hernandez will start game 4. So go ahead and do that one. And then I need to go ahead and change the Mets. They're in game 2. And I'll need to change their statistics. Let's see. Let's update. How do we do this once again? Give me a moment here. I'm just going to see if we can adjust stats here. And okay, update statistics is probably what I need. So we look for Mr. Strawberry. Daryl. There's Daryl playing in the same grouping is weird. Injury total days will be 0. Injury days left will be 0. So he will be active for this game. All right, let's go ahead and play game 2. Unscheduled. We'll go ahead and again set it for 2020. Let's see, where is my 2020 league set up? And let's see how this will work. 2020, yep, right there. And that will be the New York Mets. So the Mets are there. And the visiting team will be the Oakland Athletics, who were the home team in the last game, but they were stopped by the 5th-seeded Orioles. So the A's now come in where they need a win. The Mets are 2-0. They played a very exciting first game of this group, winning on a 2-run bomb in the bottom of 9th inning to walk it off. So let's go ahead and don't want to do that. I want to keep the 2000 and yeah, okay. All right. We use the DH, yep. And then we go to Oakland there. Stewart pitched in game 1. So this will be April the 8th. And we'll go ahead and play day here. Now, it won't be Todd Burns, that's for sure. So we will probably, let's see, Moore's 1911 261. Welch is 17.83 ERA. He's a 6. Moore is a 7. Let's go to Mike Moore. So Mike Moore will pitch for the A's. And no, the Mets will not go with him. It will probably be Ron. It will probably be Ron Darling. So Ron Darling will pitch game 2. And let's see if the lineup looks. No, you know what? Canseco does not start, which cannot be happening. So let's go ahead and move him to right field and move the DH spot to Mr. Parker. Let's see, 1, 3, 4, and means Ricky has to lead off too. I don't like when they do that. That doesn't make any sense. So right, left. Uh, so let's see, right, left. McGuire. Let's do Canseco, McGuire, and then it'll be Henderson, Steinbach, followed by Phillips and Gallego. Again, that didn't not really following the lineup for these guys. The Mets have a righty pitcher in, so that's good. That gives me Dykstra and Backman in the lineup. Strawberry, Carter, Hernandez. Uh let's do that. Let's do Hernandez, Carter, Strawberry, followed by Foster and left. Howard Johnson's at third. We'll give him a start. Mitchell will be Mitchell cannot be the shortstop. Rafael Santana. And third baseman. The third baseman is got to be Knight. So his defense stays in the game. So that will kind of open up a DH spot. And will that be 393, 400? No, it's not going to be Hearn. We'll use Howard Johnson as the DH against a righty in this one. Let's go ahead at Darling versus Moore. This is game 2, group stage for day 2. It's the 1-0 Mets and the 0-1 Athletics. Let's go to the field. And this is again where I'm going to go ahead and game preferences if I can. Go ahead, put 0 and get back to the stadium. And then we'll use Shea Stadium's statistics here. 1 to 6 for singles, 1 to 10 for home runs. So it will be Henderson, Lansford, Parker, Canseco, McGuire, Henderson, Steinbach, Phillips, Gallego. Mets defensively is Foster, Dykstra, Strawberry, Knight, Santana, Backman, Hernandez, Carter, and Darling. So Mets here trying to get their second win of group stage here. They need to score some runs. They only scored 2 runs in the opener in case anything comes to a tiebreaker. They want to have runs to support them. So Darling is out there. He'll pitch to Ricky. Let's go. Let's play baseball. World Cup MLB 2025. First pitch of the ball game. And that's going to be, I believe it was they struck him out. So Darling with a K. And here's Carney Lansford. So Lansford, the batter. Why are we not showing stats? That is weird. Lansford did play in the opener. I'm going to close this, disregard, and start again. So hang on 1 second. Let's see if it's here. No one here. You know what? Maybe we'll do that. Folks, what we'll do is we'll probably come back on a later stream. Yankees and Phillies were the only game played today. The Mets and the A's will go ahead and play again. Well, got somebody here, got somebody toting around. So just give me a second. I'm gonna have to switch around the teams a little bit. I must have messed up somewhere. So let's go again, unscheduled. And this will be the 2020 league here that I've been messing with, Greatest Teams League. And that will be the Metropolitans, and that will be league game, yeah. That's what probably didn't pop. And it will be the Mets and the Athletics. Again, it will be April the 8th. And that's going to be we'll do a night game this time, be the second game. And then the edit will be Darling on the mound. So Ricky will go back leading off first and second. Canseco in for Phelps, and he can play right field. So we Henderson, Lansford, Canseco, and then it will be McGuire, Parker. So kind of change that lineup a little bit around too. So Parker there, Henderson will bat sixth, Steinbach seventh, and then that will be Phillips and Gallego, Darling on the mound. So let's go ahead and put DH for Mr. Parker, and he's good. So now Mike Moore back on the mound. So that's what we wanted. And yep, that will be against a righty. It's going to be Henderson, Lansford, Canseco, McGuire. Okay, that's what I just did. Mets are not okay. Hang on. So Darling will be the third baseman. The DH will be Howard Johnson. The shortstop is Rafael Santana. So Santana will go ninth position. So let's make sure everyone is set up here. Yes, I want to go Hernandez 3, Strawberry 5th here. And then it's Foster, Johnson, Knight, and Santana. All right. Let's look at Mitchell. I'm going to leave Foster out there. He had the big home run in the opener. And are we ready to play? Yes, we are. Let's play ball from Yankee Stadium in New York. Okay, we'll go ahead and switch back to the stadium here for that one. Again, all games in this group are played at Yankee Stadium. They have the best record of the 5 teams, so they'll get the home. They'll be hosting Group A. So Henderson leads off against Darling. Darling looks in, and the first pitch. That will be a line drive base hit for Ricky. So Ricky is on, so he gets a second chance and gets it. And here's Lansford, 1 for 3 so far. Now the stats are showing. Darling from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And Ricky was trying to go. Here's the pitch to Lansford. Catch X. Let's see, Darling. That's a wild pitch. That's going to the screen. So Henderson will go to second. Here's Lansford. Darling from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Lansford. And that's going to be a liner caught. Oh, nice play by Santana. Henderson stops at second. So here's Canseco. He had a home run in game 1. Darling from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Jose. And Canseco struck him out 2 outs. And now here's McGuire. So Darling from the stretch. Runner on second, 2 out. Pitch to McGuire. And that's going to be a liner. Nope, caught. And that is it. So bottom of the first coming up. Oakland nothing. And here come your New York Mets. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Yankees and Phillies were game 1. This is, again, day 2. In this, there are 30 teams. There are 6 groups of 5. So each of the top two first and second place teams make it to the knockout stage. And then 4 of the remaining best records from the third place will also get in. So it should be 16 in the knockout stage. Let's get back to baseball, and it'll be Lenny Dykstra, 0 for 1. Did not start game 1. Moyer with the pitch. Here's the pitch to Dykstra, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Back is Henderson. Can't get it. It's over his head. He's used to playing Yankee Stadium. Not that time. Dykstra in the second, and the Mets with an early rally. Here's Backman. Backman came in late inning replacement in game 1. Moore from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a base hit for Backman. Dykstra scores 1-0 Mets. So a quick lead for the New York Metropolitans. Here's Hernandez. 1 for 3. Moore from the stretch. Here's a pitch to Hernandez. That will be a strikeout for Mike Moore. 1 away. And here's Gary Carter. Moore from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And he goes to second. That's a wild pitch from Mike Moore. So let's see if the Mets can get something going. Another runner in scoring position. Moore from the stretch, pitches to Carter, and that's going to be a base hit for Carter. Backman will score. Mets lead 2-0, and the Mets come out hitting. Here's Strawberry, only with the 1 at bat from the last game. Moore from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Darryl, and Strawberry struck him out 2 outs. And here is the man with the big boomstick, George Foster, walk-off 2-run homer in game 1. Moore from the stretch, pitches to Foster. That will be a walk, first and second, 2 outs, and the Mets continue. And it's going to be Howard Johnson, first game in this tournament. Moore from the stretch, first and second, 2 outs. And that's going to be a strikeout. So Mike Moore gets another strikeout, but the Mets score 2. 2-0 Mets. We go to the top of the second. Here is Parker. Parker will be followed by Henderson and Steinbach. Darling looks in, gets a sign. Here's the pitch to Dave Parker. And Parker hits a liner, but it's caught by Backman one away. Here's Dave Henderson. Darling looks in, gets a sign. Here's the pitch to Hendu. Hendu can do. Line drive caught by Santana, 2 outs. They're just missing the ballpark singles. Here is Steinbach. Darling from the windup. Here's the pitch to Steinbach. And that's a strikeout for Darling. We go to the bottom of the second. New York 2 and the A's nothing. So it's going to be Knight followed by Santana and Dykstra. Moore looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Ray Knight. And Ray Knight with a liner. This time it goes through for a base hit. Base hit number 4 for the Mets. Here's Santana. They'll go ahead and probably lay a bunt down. They do. And Knight goes to second for the sacrifice. Here's Dykstra, 1-for-1 with a double. Moore from the stretch. Here's a pitch to Dykstra. And Dykstra line drive to short. Gallego gets it, and there's 2 outs. And here is Backman. RBI knock his last time up. Moore from the stretch. Runner on second and 2 out. Pitch to Backman. That'll be a fly ball to center. Henderson makes the play, and that is it. 2 innings of play in the books. Mets 2, A's nothing. The A's already in a disadvantage. They already lost game 1 of the group. So again, that with the Orioles are off on this bracket. We'll look over week 3 or day 3 matchups when we're done. Darling to Phillips and the pitch. That will be a line drive. That's deep. Tony Phillips, right field, gone. Could not hold it. The ballpark cannot hold it. Mets lead 2-1. Home run, Tony Phillips. So now here's Mike Ego, my guy Ego. Darling looks in, 2-1 Mets. Someone has woken up the Athletics, and that is gonna be struck him out. So Gallego down on strikes. Here is Henderson, 1 out in the third. Darling with the windup. Here's the pitch to Ricky. Ricky with a line drive, little blooper. Foster with a nice catch, and there's 2 outs. Here's Lansford with 2 outs. He's 0-for-1 with the line out. Darling looks in, gets the sign, wind up to Lansford, and Lansford with a walk. So now with 2 outs, it now belongs to Canseco. Let's see if Lansford runs here. Darling from the stretch. Here's the pitch. They were trying, but Lansford has to hold. So Darling steps off from the stretch. Carter puts the sign down. Pitch to Jose Canseco. Canseco, fly ball left field. Foster with the catch. And we head to the bottom of the third. Mets 2, A's 1. So Hernandez up. Now the Mets have the Orioles and the Yankees left. Tough part of their group. The Yankees still have only played 1 game. They're playing the rest of the way. They've only played the Phillies. Again, the A's we talked about. They played the Orioles in the game 1. They'll play the Mets here. They'll still have games left with the Phillies and the Yankees. So those are kind of remaining games of the last two days of group play. Steinbach puts down the sign. Moore looks in. Here's the pitch. 2-4, ground ball to first. McGuire takes it to the bag himself, 1 away. Moore looks in, gets a sign to Gary Carter. Carter line drive caught, 2 outs by Gallego. Here's Strawberry, 0-for-1 with a strikeout. Moore with a long windup and the pitch. That's a strikeout for Strawberry. We head to the fourth, 2-1 Mets. So now here's McGuire, followed by Parker and Hendu. Darling looks in with the windup and pitch to McGuire. That could be trouble. Left field. Oh, that ball's not coming back. Oh, my goodness. Monument Park, Yankee Stadium. It is a 2-2 ball game. So Monster Mac takes Darling deep, and it's a 2-2 tie. So here's McGuire, 0-for-1. Here's Parker, who's 0-for-1. Darling looks in. Here's the pitch to Parker. Parker, fly ball left field. Foster makes the nice catch, and there's 1 out. Here is Henderson. Darling looks in with the windup pitch to Henderson. That will be a ground ball back to the mound. 2 outs. And here's Steinbach, who's 0-for-1. Darling with the windup. Here's the pitch to Steinbach, and he struck him out. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Brand new ball game. It's 2-2, heading to the bottom of the fourth inning. Barbara, how you doing? Welcome to MLB World Cup 2025. watching your beloved New York Mets. So let's see. Let's get back to gameplay. Here is Foster, followed by Johnson and Knight. 2-2 ball game in the fourth. Moore looks in, gets a sign, pitches to Foster, and that's going to be a line drive. Oh, what a play by Gallego. Stops it for the first out. Here's Howard Johnson. Moore looks in, 2-2 tie. Moore with a windup and pitch to Hojo, and that's a walk. So Hojo with the walks. He got some speed. We'll see if he can run a little bit. 17% says he can, but he won't. So Moore will keep him close. Runner on first, one out. Moore from the stretch. Ray Knight, 1-for-1 with a single. Here's the pitch. That's a ground ball double play. Goes to second, back to first, and a double play. We played four here in the Bronx. It's 2-2 tie. Again, Yankee Stadium being used as the home field for Group A, I guess you can call it. Against the Yankees are the number one seed in the group. They will be hosting the first round. They'll be hosting the Group A games. Yankees and Mets play week 5, I believe it is. Let's look at some more matchups so we can kind of tell here. So that was the Yankees beating Philadelphia 9-6. And this is going to be on the Mets and A's round 3. It's Yankees and Orioles, Phillies and A's. The Mets do have round 3 off. So kind of keep that in mind as we run through the brackets. Here's Tony Phillips, home run his last time up. 4 home runs during the regular season, and he found one. Darling with the pitch. And that's going to be a walk to Tony Phillips. Darling struggling a little bit. And the Mets can't afford a loss. I mean, they won the first one, but they got some tough matchups yet to come. So Darling looks in with the pitch to Gallego, and Phillips goes to second. So it was a sacrifice by Gallego. So Tony La Russa going small ball. Runner on second, one out for Henderson, who's 1-for-2. Darling from the stretch. Carter calling for the sign. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a strikeout out. Big strikeout for Darling. There's 2 outs. And here's Lansford. Lansford 0-for-1 with the walk. Darling looks in. Runner on second. 2 outs. Can Lansford get the big hit of this ball game right now? No. Pops to short. Santana with the play. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Oakland 2 and the New York Mets 2. So far, a solid 2-2 tie in the 5th. Exciting World Cup action. Here is Santana, followed by Dykstra and Backman. Moore looks in. The windup to Rafael Santana. And that's going to be in the gap. Henderson makes the running catch one away. That was Dave Henderson. So now here is Dykstra, 1-for-2 with a double. Moore looks in, wind up, pitches to Dykstra. Dykstra walks him, so Dykstra's on at first with 1 out, and here is Backman, 1-for-2 with the RBI. We'll see if Lenny wants to run. He's got a little more odds. He doesn't, so Moore will hold him close. So Moore from the stretch, Wally Backman with 1 out and the pitch. That will be a base hit for Backman. So this Dykstra and Backman combination are very good against righty. That's why the Yankees are probably going to hold off David Wells to game 4 against the Mets and force the Mets either to play their righty lineup and a weakened Dykstra and Backman, depending if they need the game desperate enough, or they'll play their combination of Tim Tuffle along with Mookie Wilson. So that means Yankees will probably go with Cone, then followed by Orlando Hernandez, and they will follow that with Wells pitching game 5. So to me, I think the Yankees have to do that in this situation for the Mets stronger lineup versus righties. So Moore looks in, first and second, 1 out. Here's a pitch to Hernandez. That will be a fly ball to center. Henderson with the catch, and there's 2 outs. First and second, 2 outs of a 2-2 ball game. Carter and RBI back in the first. Moore from the stretch gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Carter. Carter, ground ball to short, goes to second, the short way, and we played 5. It's official. Oakland 2 and the Mets 2. Let's look at statistically what we've had so far. Mike Moore, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Ron Darling, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, giving up 2 home runs. That was to Phillips and McGuire. So we go to the sixth, 2-2 tie. Canseco, McGuire, Parker against Darling. Darling looks in, gets the full windup pitch to Canseco, and that's a liner. Oh, what a play by Santana! Makes the play of the year. Santana on a 1-17 single. You roll the 19. What a play by Santana. So we now go to McGuire. Darling looks in. Big monster Mac looks in. Pitch to McGuire. McGuire ground ball to second. Backman with the play, and there's 2 outs. Here's Parker, 0 for 2, 1 for 6 in the tournament. Darling looks in from the stretch. Here's a pitch to Parker, and that is a ground ball to second. Backman's got it, throws him out, and we head to the bottom of the sixth, a 2-2 tie. So Strawberry followed by Foster and Hojo against Mike Moore. So Mike Moore comes out, 2-2 ball game. Moore with a windup and pitch to Strawberry. And Strawberry, deep drive right field. That's going to be trouble. It's up against the wall. Strawberry goes to second, stays there with a stand-up double. So Strawberry, stand-up double with no outs here in the sixth. And here's Foster, 0 for 1 with a walk. Big blow home run in game one against the Phillies. Moore from the stretch. Foster due up and the pitch. That's going to be a fly ball to center. That's Henderson. Makes the catch. Strawberry has to hold, and there's one away. Here's Hojo. Ooh, he does not have to hold. Ooh, 1-15 to go to third. We'll go to third. Not in time. So Strawberry gets the third with 1 out. So Strawberry gets the third with 1 out. Here's Hojo. Big run for the Mets here in the sixth inning. Johnson the bat, 0 for 1 with the walk. A's playing the infield in. Moore from the stretch. Pitch to Howard Johnson. And that's a walk to Hojo. So reservations for first base for Hojo. First and third, 1 out for Ray. I dubbed Knight. So now the Mets, do they go to who's on their bench? That would probably be third baseman, probably be Kevin Mitchell, the only other decent third baseman Mets team has. So Knight will bat, 1 for 2, World Series hero. First and third, A's playing the corners in with 1 out. Moore from the stretch. And that's going to be a, let's see, whiff, and struck him out. Big strikeout for Mike Moore, his fifth of the ball game with 4 walks. And now it comes to Rafael Santana, 0 for 4 with a K so far in the tournament. Big time hit needed for Rafi. Moore from the stretch. First and third, 2 out. Partisan Met fans here in the Bronx. Here's the pitch to Santana. And the pitch. Ground ball to short. That's it at Gallego. Throws it. No, it's in the dirt. McGuire cannot pull it out. Mets lead 3-2. Oh, my goodness. Gallego threw low in the dirt. McGuire could not pull it out. Mets lead at 3-2. And there's 2 outs for Dykstra. So Santana reaches. Call that an E6. So first and second, 2 out for Lenny. So Moore, get his defense doesn't bail him out. Moore from the stretch to Dykstra, and that's a ground ball back to Moore. Throws him out, and we played 6, but the Mets break the tie on the error. 3-2 Mets. We head to the 7th. The A's 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. The Mets 3 runs on 6 hits. We head to the 7th inning. Hey, Legend Sports Universe, how you doing? And Bart, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. This is baseball's World Cup MLB 2025 Group A bracket. Mets playing the Athletics. 89 A's, 86 Mets. So let's see if the A's are 0-1. If you watch the streams, please do. Otherwise, I'm going to give out some spoilers. The A's are 0-1. The Mets are 1-0. So the Mets needing this win. So now Darling comes out the 7th. Big error by Gallego has cost them the lead, has cost a tie. 3-2 Mets to the 7th we go. Darling looks in. Dave Henderson, the bat, followed by Steinbach and Phillips. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. Santana all the way across the diamond, one away in the seventh. So now here's Steinbach. He's 0 for 2. Darling looks in, heading in the seventh inning. The pitch from Darling to Steinbach. Steinbach a base hit. So now the A's bring up Tony Phillips. He's homered and walked. Darling looks in, gets it. Roger McDowell up in the Met bullpen. Darling from the stretch pitches to him. Ooh, I know what they were trying there. They were trying to. All right, Steinbach was trying to get a lead. Normally doesn't have a lot of speed to do so. Darling from the stretch pitches to Tony Phillips. Struck him out. Big strikeout for Darling, his sixth. He's given up 4 hits, 2 walks, struck out 6. But he's given up 2 home run balls so far. Top of the seventh, 2 outs. Gallego, the batter. Is this when you pull Gallego? Possibly. If the A's got something better up their sleeves, they can put in Weiss. They can have a couple better batters. You can go Phillips, Hasse, Javier. So let's see them. Probably the A's don't go here. Darling from the stretch. Here is the pitch to Gallego. And that's going to be struck him out. Big strikeout for Darling. We go to the bottom of the seventh. It's time to stretch. Mets 3, A's 2. So bottom 7. Here we go. So bottom 7 here. This is the second game. The Yankees played the Phillies, 98 Yankees versus the '08 Phillies in game 1 that was on this channel earlier in the same stream, while the Orioles do have week 2 or day 2 off. The Mets have day 3 off. So this will be a rest game for the Mets. Moore looks in. Backman to bat. Bottom 7, 3-2. It will be Backman, Hernandez, and Carter. Moore the windup pitch to Backman. This will be a fly ball left field. Tough for Ricky. Oh, he dropped the ball again. Henderson having problems out there. He's played in this park before for the Yanks, and he's played it so much. And again, Henderson unable to make the play. That's a huge error, and Backman goes to second. Oh, La Russa can't believe it. Now here's Hernandez. Now what do? Again, you use Honeycutt in game 1. You might as well if you need him. Moore from the stretch. Runner on second. Nobody out. Pitches Hernandez. That's a liner base hit for Hernandez. It's Carter now. Carter with Strawberry on deck. Mets looking to really pull apart here. 3-2 Mets. And now you look at the A's. Now I'm letting the A's control their own managing here, but I'm going to step in and make the move if need be. But right now, they don't have anybody who should be out there making them. So Moore from the stretch. A's playing the infield in first and third, nobody out, and they do go for it. They go to Jim Corsi, who is really, really solid versus lefties. And he's not bad against righties either. So Corsi will come in and pitch to Carter. The infield stays in. Corsi from the stretch and the pitch. That's gone. Left field deep. Back goes Henderson. It's gone. Goodbye. So Gary Carter makes it the Mets a 3-run bomb. It's a 6-2 ball game for the Metropolitans. So a huge home run for Carter. That's why this Met team is so tough. And now Corsi will pitch to Strawberry. 6-2 Mets. Holy cow. Ground ball to first. That's hit at McGuire. Kicks it to the bag himself. So that Henderson error is huge. Here's Foster 0 for 2 with a walk. Corsi from the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be a strikeout. 2 outs. Here's Howard Johnson. So Corsi looks in the windup to Hojo. Hojo, line drive, base hit, reservations to first base for Howard. So now Ray Knight, 1 for 3. Corsi from the stretch, pitches to Knight. And that's going to be a fly ball left field. Ricky makes this catch, and we head to the 8th inning. It is Mets 6, Oakland 2. Now let's see if the Mets want to finagle with defense any. This is where you can, and this is where I'd want to. So let's see. Mitchell is a 4. So Mookie Wilson and his pathetic +3 arm. Will head to, well, so is Foster. Foster's not giving me anything better. So Wilson will come in and play left just to get that 4 out of left field. And Darling with a 4-run lead will stay where he's at. So Darling continues to pitch. So now let's see. It's going to be Henderson followed by Lansford and Canseco. Darling looks in, gets the sign to Ricky Henderson. And Henderson ground ball to short. Santana over to first and one away. And here's Lansford. Darling looks in with the full windup pitch to Lansford. And that's going to be a fly ball center field. That's Dykstra. He doesn't make the catch. Must be swirling winds here at the stadium. Lansford to second on the E8. So the A's now get a break. A one-out error gets Lansford to second. Here's Canseco bringing up the Bash brothers. Darling from the stretch. Runner on second, one out. And that goes to the screen. So Lansford will go to third. That is a wild pitch for Darling. Darling from the stretch. Lansford at third and one out. Pitch to Canseco. And that's a liner base set for Canseco. Gets in. Will get in the runner from third, Lansford. And it's now a 6-3 ball game. And now righty lefty matchups as McDowell and Orozco get up. Here's McGuire, 1 for 3, including a long bomb in the Monument Park. Darling from the stretch and the pitch. And that's going to be a strikeout for McGuire. Brings up Parker with 2 outs. Darling trying to get the big out here from the stretch. Canseco on at first with 2 outs. And that's going to be a base at the right field. That brings a tying run to the plate. Henderson comes up, and that will do it. So we will see Roger McDowell here. So McDowell will come in. That probably will mean Orozco in the 9th. So McDowell comes in his first appearance. Gooden went 9 in the losing effort or in the winning effort in game 1. McDowell looks in. 6-3 Mets, tying runners on. Here is Dave Henderson. It goes to the backup again. Oh, a balk is called. Holy cow. Canseco to third and Parker to second. So McDowell now, he's questioning the home plate umpire here. Home plate umpire. We don't have umpires, I don't think. We'll have to find out and see if we do. So McDowell from the stretch, second and third, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Henderson, and it pays dividends. Fly to center, Dykstra with the catch, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets 6 and the A's 3. 3, 6, and 2 for the A's, 4, 9, and 1 for the Mets. So now it will be Santana followed by Dykstra and Backman against Jim Corsi. Stays in the game. Corsi with the windup pitch to Santana. That's a foul out behind the plate. Steinbach with the catch, and there's one away. Here's Dykstra, 1 for 3 of the double. Corsi with the windup and pitch to Dykstra. And that's a base hit for Dykstra. He's on at first with 1 out. Here's Wally Backman, 2 for 4 at the RBI. Corsi from the stretch. Dykstra looking in, and the pitch. This will be a base hit for Backman. Dykstra first to third. 86 Mets doing their 86 Met thing. First and third, 1 out for Hernandez. 1 for 4, the run scored. Corsi from the stretch. A's playing the infield back. They're going to try to turn 2 for Keith. Here's the pitch. And a walk to Hernandez, and the bases are loaded. The Mets look to put this away here in the 8th, and it's Gary Carter's time. 4 RBIs. He's 2 for 4. And now Corsi looks in. Bases loaded, 1 out. 6-3 Mets. And the pitch. Ground ball to third. Let's see if they can turn 2. Lansford, no. They're only going to get 1, I believe. Yes, they go to second. Run scores, and the Mets lead it 7-3. Another RBI for Carter, and that's his 4th of the game. Mets lead 7-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. And here's Strawberry looking to plant one in the upper deck if he can. Corsi from the stretch, 7-4 Mets, and the pitch. That's a ground ball to second. Side is retired. Mets get 1. They're now up 4. Roger McDowell will stay in and pitch the 9th inning to see if the Mets can get their second win of this MLB Cup. So let's finish this one out. And it's going to be Steinbach followed by Phillips and Gallego. McDowell with the windup pitch, and it's going to be Ken Phelps. So Ken Phelps will bat. So McDowell looks in, and the windup, and that's going to be a ground ball to third. Knight with the throw to first, one away. Here's Phillips, 1 for 2, home run back in the third. McDowell with the windup, pitch to Phillips, and that's going to be a liner caught by Backman, 2 outs. Gallego now comes up, last opportunity for the A's, and it's a huge opportunity. McDowell looks in. Here's the pitch to Gallego. Stan Javier, the bat for him. McDowell with the windup. Here's the pitch to Javier, and that's a foul out behind the plate. Carter with the catch, and the Mets have a happy recap. So the Mets win this one. They'll win their second, and they'll join. They'll be 2-0, the only team with 2 wins so far in group stage. So Darling, 7 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. McDowell gets a save, goes an inning and a third, while Moore went 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, only 3 were earned, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Corsi went 2 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. Big home run by Gary Carter. That put things away. Solid, big crowd here, 51,000 for Carter. That put things away. Solid, big crowd here, 51,000 for Group A stage for day 2. So Mets win 7-3, 7-11-1 for the Mets, 3-6-2 for the A's. Dykstra with 3 hits. That's what makes his Met team dangerous against right-handed pitching. Dykstra with 2 hits, Carter with 2 hits, and 5 runs batted in. He was the offensive star. The A's, everyone, a lot of people had 1 hit. Of the 6 hits, they had 6 guys with a hit apiece. So this is it. Mets win it 7-3, and they'll go to 2-0, while the A's will go to 0-2. So that was what? 7-3. Let's go ahead and input that in 2. So that'll be 7-3. All right. So then again, round 3, it's going to be Yankees who are 1-0 taking on the Orioles. They're both 1-0. That's a big loser goes to third place. Then it's the 08 Phillies 0-2 and the A's 0-2. So someone's going to have to win and someone will be eliminated basically. And then that would mean the Mets are off for round 3. That's what we have so far, folks. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. This is World Cup Major League Baseball 2025. Maybe get more in later on tonight. We'll see what's going on. Talk to you later. Have a great rest of your evening. This is the Sports Time Machine saying good night for now.